What up? What up? What up? We are live. It is Thursday. You know what that means. It is Masterclass time. Masterclass time. Thursday night Masterclass time. Yeah. So I got some slides that I'm working on that I will have. You can look at while we're going through the slides. But in the meantime, until I get those, just so you have something to look at besides my pretty face, let's watch the 1 minute chart. This is the only way you should view the 1 minute chart, in my opinion. Most people view it like all other charts, which is zoomed in. So let's reset, okay? Let's go back to the daily. Whoa, what? There is the daily. And normally, when you open the daily chart, it would look more like this. Excuse me. Let me get a drink here. You guys should get a drink as well. This is just Dr. Pepper, but if you drink, I don't care. Get you a drink, get you a beverage, get you what you enjoy that will help you relax and that will help you to focus and to pay attention for the next 90 minutes or so. See how long it takes. So until I get those slides done, we'll just have to improvise. All right. So welcome in, everyone. If you're here tonight, it's not by accident. Most people spend their entire lives working harder, saving more, but still falling behind. Not because they're lazy, but because they were never taught how the system actually works. Tonight is not about hype. It's not about get rich quick. It's about understanding how wealth has always been built for millennia. It's not new knowledge how the wealthy have built wealth and how they have stayed wealthy. It's not about get rich quick. It's about understanding how wealth has always been built using credit, leverage, structure, and strategy. While the masses were taught to fear all of it, the wealthy have used debt, credit, insurance, trusts, and ownership structures for millennia, ever since they've been invented. Somewhere along the way, probably, let's say 1913, probably, that education was removed from schools and replaced with obedience, consumption, and dependence. But this is a big but, my friends. Okay? Pay attention. Instead of complaining about it, Instead of complaining about the system or playing victim to it, we do something different here. We educate ourselves, we learn the rules, and then we use the system the way it was designed to build, to protect, and to pass down wealth. Oh, just take a deep breath and let it sink in. So, every Thursday night, I teach one thing: how to become sovereign in your finances, in your structure, and ultimately in your whole life. If you're looking for shortcuts, this is not for you. If you're looking to build something real for yourself, for your family, for your legacy, well, then you're in the right room. You are in the right place at the right time. We are on a journey, my friends. Everybody is on a journey. Some people are further along on their journey than others, and that's okay. So, if you're looking for shortcuts, this isn't for you. If you're looking to build something real, then let's get into it. Are you ready? Are you ready out there, my friends? Here we go. Let's get into it. How the wealthy actually build, protect, and pass down wealth, and how you can too. It's not some big secret. They don't hide it from you. Well, while we're on that topic, they is a construct in your mind that you create to give weight to something you don't understand, which is your mind. If you use they in your vocabulary, let's ask ChatGPT real quick what it means. When I use they in my vocabulary to blame somebody or to put a victim to something, what does that actually mean in my mind? Okay, so what they really means psychologically. Okay, this is huge. Pay attention. Okay, because most people, instead of taking responsibility and ownership for their lives, they blame it on some external thing that they cannot control, like the system or the government or the state or their job. or their husband or their kids or whatever. Instead of taking responsibility for their actions, they blame it on someone else. Okay? So, what they really means psychologically. They is a placeholder for surrendered agency. When someone says, they did this to us, they won't let me, they control everything, they ruined the system. What the mind is doing is externalizing power, not always consciously, but structurally. This is the thing. We don't do it consciously, we do it unconsciously because we've been programmed to do so. And that's okay. That's why we join here every Thursday, is so that we can come together to unite in sovereignty. We are stronger together. Sovereignty is an individual quest. You have to do it on your own. You have to become sovereign on your own, but you can be helped and guided as a community. And then once you get there, you pass it forward, you pay it forward, and you help others along their journey. That's what we're all about here. So, sorry, that was kind of a tangent there, a little off track. That's going to happen a lot here on this channel. I tend to free flow, and even with slides, it's going to be really hard for me to stick to the slides, but that's okay because we'll make it work. So, good drink or smoke. Mine was clogged there. Sorry about that. And let's get into it. What do you say? All right, let's do this. All right, to the Sovereign Builder Masterclass. How business owners, investors, and families build wealth using credit, OPM, and structure, while everyone else stays trapped. This isn't hype. This is how wealth has been built for millennia. Who is this for? This is for you if you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck. You're told the system is rigged, but you want to use it, not rage against it. You want to build wealth without selling your soul. You care about legacy, not just money. And you want to take control of your thinking and your outcomes. That's what this is all about. Personal responsibility for everything, though. You got to take personal responsibility for everything, your finances, your health, your money. Yes, money and finances are different. Finances, if you have money, you have to learn how to finance your money, if you will. You have to learn what to do with it, with that money. become financially savvy. Back to the 1 minute chart. Let's check in real quick. Every one of these takes a minute to form. That should be good for a while. See where it goes, huh? See, oh, real quick. So I go live every day, pretty much, on my channel here, uh, to demonstrate trading, live trading. So as you can see here, since it's live, might as well get into it. See how it's above this yellow line right here? That means it's kind of far, it's kind of extended out of its price range. It's way above the VWAP, this blue band right here. So you could probably expect price to retrace a little bit, but I'm not going to say anything because it's looking like maybe a breakout. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. So there you go. You can keep an eye on that for a while. Back to the slides. So if you want to take control of your thinking and your outcomes, you are in the right place. Welcome. But the core truth is the system was designed to benefit everyone. But only the educated actually use it. And really, what it comes down to when I say the educated, it means the ones who have passed it down from generation to generation. That is kind of the world we live in nowadays. Is you're just born into a family and you're passed down or taught whatever has been taught previously to that generation, to the previous generation. So unless you change that, you will continue to get the same outcome of your generational line, which is fine. If you're okay with the outcome of your lineage, of your line, if you are currently broke, poor, on the bottom of the spectrum, and you're okay with that, well, good riddance. I mean, if that works for you, then it works for you. If you're not, if you're sick of being poor and you want to move up, well, that's exactly what we teach people how to do here. Is we can take you from the bottom to the top real quick. And if you're already at the top, we can show you and help you to get more. And if you don't have it protected and you don't have it in the right structures, we can help with that as well. So, again, the core truth is that the system was designed to benefit everyone, but only the educated and the wealthy actually know how to use it. Most people fear debt, misuse credit, own liabilities, have no structure, have no protection. The wealthy use debt as a tool, leverage OPM, control assets, build structures, and they protect everything. There is no victim mentality here. You can only cry about, I mean, You can cry about the system or you can learn how it works. Nobody's coming to save you, not the government, not the banks, not the schools, not the churches. Sovereignty starts when you take responsibility for your financial, legal, and spiritual life. You cannot have financial success in your life unless you first take control of your mind. So it starts when you take responsibility for your financial, legal, and spiritual life. You have to be in alignment with everything. There, no matter what you believe, if you're Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Taoist, Zioist, Zionist, Jewish, if that is your identity, good for you. That is fine. But if you want a sovereign identity where you don't let the state define who you are, you don't let your church define who you are, you don't let your social group define who you are, you define who you are. That is being sovereign. That's truly what it means. And that's what it's all about here, is taking ownership and responsibility for your entire life so that you can then use credit and debt to advance your financial situation. It's what the wealthy have been doing for millennia. It's the system that we live in. We live in a debt-based economy worldwide. We all do, no matter where you go. So most are taught debt is bad, credit is dangerous, cash is king. But the reality is that bad debt is bad. Strategic debt builds empires, and cash is trash if it's not working. Credit is not evil, ignorance is. The wealthy use credit to acquire cash flowing assets. They control these assets without owning them outright. This is important. They preserve their own capital. They shift risk, and they multiply time and skill. Most are taught to work for money. Wealthy kids are taught how money actually works. That's all there is to it. You can teach your kids this too. You can learn it, and then you teach your kids it, and then you teach your kids to teach their kids. And this is how you can become and sustain wealth with one generation. OPM, other people's money, is not a trick. It's how everything big gets built. Real estate, businesses, infrastructure, corporations, governments. If you're not using OPM, you are slower, you are risk exposed, and you're capital constrained. With OPM, you can buy businesses that create cash flow. These are businesses that are already established, millions of them for sale right now in the United States. Awesome, great cash flowing, productive businesses that, if not bought, will go out of business and the owner will retire and their legacy will be destroyed. Sad, really. That's where we come in here. We help business owners so that they can retire and they can go live that this is what they were taught. Okay. This is how we live in a totally different generation. Their generation was taught get a job or get a good job, go to school, get a good job, save some money for retirement in your pension or whatever, retire. Okay. That was the consumer mentality. The investor mentality back then was build a business and leave it to your heirs or whatever, what have you, right? Well, a lot of these heirs don't want what they parents created for them, which is sad. And the whole thing is they're just missing that one piece. And it's structure. If they just knew how they could leave it to their heirs without their heirs having to do anything. But they think, and this is just a mindset shift, you just got to shift your mindset. They think that it's not possible, but it is. So businesses create cash flow, they create tax advantages, they create credit worthiness. Investing creates equity, appreciation, and optionality. The wealthy own businesses and assets. The poor trade time for dollars. They trade time for paper, fiat, that just inflates away and becomes worthless. Structure is everything. Wealth does not live in your personal name. It lives in entities, in trusts, in holding companies, in proper contracts, clear separation. If everything is in your name, you are exposed, you're taxable, you are fragile. You want to become anti fragile. Like, what's his name? Teaches. Anti or Taleb, what's his name? Taleb Salim. Insurance. Insurance is liquidity plus protection. And if you don't understand what that means and how to use insurance as liquidity, how to become your own bank, if you will, you've probably heard about becoming your own bank or infinite banking. Well, the way you do that is with insurance. Insurance is not just protection, it's liquidity, leverage, and strategy. The wealthy use insurance to store capital, access liquidity without selling assets, protect estates, transfer wealth efficiently. And if you were taught insurance is an expense when it's actually a financial tool, well, then you're in the right place. Sorry, I lost my slide spot. All right, where are we at? Okay. So, insurance, right? Yep, there we go. So, insurance is actually a financial tool. Asset protection. You don't build wealth first, you protect it as you build. Asset protection means lawsuits don't destroy you. One mistake doesn't wipe out decades. Your family is insulated. Hope is not a strategy, structure is. Bitcoin and crypto, the new system. This is the future of finance, my friends. So pay attention. We are entering a new financial system. Bitcoin and crypto remove counterparty risk. They reduce reliance on banks. They enable self custody. And they create a parallel rel. It's basically a new financial system, a parallel rel to the traditional financial system. And it's not like so a lot of people think that the traditional financial system is going to go, well, not a lot of people think, but some people think that the traditional financial system is doomed and that it's going to go away. No, they're going to exist in parallel. But the thing is if you continue to put all of your exposure in the traditional financial system, eventually something will happen, something will break, and they will take control of everything, all of it, and you'll be fucked. You have to decentralize at least some of your assets. Where yes, if you have everything protected now in trusts and proper structures, great. That's great. But still, that's still part of the old system. There's still a what if, right? Okay, it hasn't been broken in the court systems, right? But now that we're going into this digital world, what if they just get rid of the court systems totally? Everything's digital now. What if they just decide, like, I don't like to think like this, but it's possible if they implement some type of digital ID system, the wrong kind of digital ID system, because they do have to implement some type of digital ID system. That's all there is to it. We have to implement some type of digital ID. And so it has to be the proper one, not the one where they can control you and they can spy on you and that they can, obviously it has to be decentralized and private. It's the only way DID works. Digital identification, DID. And so you can stay in the old system or you can join the new system. Or you can do both. Diversify, right? Isn't that what they teach? Diversify, diversify, diversify. I've been taught both, and I've also been taught that diversification just means that you don't have a strategy. So you diversify, you put everything all over the place because you don't have one single strategy that works. That could be true, right? That's why here we teach everything. You cannot go wrong by learning. Most people, most gurus, most educators, teachers online only teach one strategy, one philosophy, one method. Here, I teach everything you need to know to go from individual person, birth certificate, whatever's on the name of your birth certificate is, to you then become manager of multiple entities, LLCs, corporations. When you become a corporation or a business, that's true sovereignty. You are no longer tied to your social security number. Everything becomes separate from you, yourself, and I. Me, myself, and I. Just me, myself, and I. Is this it? Are we going to drop for days, or is it going to just keep pumping? So we are entering a new financial system. Bitcoin and crypto remove counterparty risk. They reduce reliance on banks. They enable self-custody, and they create parallel rails. The institutions are coming. The early builders always win. Every major wealth shift, railroads, oil, real estate, internet, the early adopters win, and the late adopters comply. It's true with crypto and Bitcoin. Decentralization is not just money, it's financial sovereignty, it's legal sovereignty, it's identity sovereignty, and it's mental sovereignty, most importantly. If everything you rely on is centralized, then so is your vulnerability. You are most vulnerable in a centralized system. We haven't had this before. We haven't had decentralized systems before. We haven't been able to remove ourselves from a system that is corrupt and broken. But you can now with Bitcoin and crypto. I talk about crypto, but Bitcoin is not crypto. That's why I separate the two, Bitcoin and crypto. When I say Bitcoin and crypto, what I mean by that is that Bitcoin is not crypto. They are two separate things, my friends. And if you don't know the difference, come and learn. You got to think in legacy terms. Legacy thinking. The goal is not getting rich. The goal is breaking generational cycles, teaching your children differently, leaving systems and not stuff to your children, creating freedom that outlives you. That's legacy. The problem is not lack of opportunity. It's lack of education, lack of structure, lack of community, lack of courage. Once you see this, you can't unsee it. That's the problem. That is the real problem. Lack of education, lack of structure, lack of community, lack of courage. They've divided us. They've taken away our courage. There's absolutely no community. There is communities online, but that we can't. What can you do online? Nothing. You can only segregate even more. I do have this online community, yes, but I also have my in-person community, my in real life, my IRL community, and you should have some form of community as well in real life. Don't just rely on an online community to save you as well. Again, it's not about individualism. The solution, obviously, if there's lack of education, lack of structure, lack of community, and lack of courage, then the solution is education, structure, community. But on top of that, the solution is execution and exclusivity. Unfortunately, to get inside my inner circle, it's not for everybody. You must apply to enter my inner circle, which I will give you the opportunity to do so at the end here. That's it. No magic, no shortcuts, no gurus. This is a movement. It's not about politics. It's not about religion. It's not about right or left. It's about overcoming fear and taking ownership over your sovereignty, over your stewardship, over your legacy. So, what we do here, we deconstruct the system, we teach real strategies, we share frameworks, we build sovereign builders. We promote individual contrarian thinkers. We are individual contrarian thinkers. We think for ourselves around here. But because we are a like minded community, we take those thoughts and we pool them together as a community and we build upon those thoughts and ideas. Hey, man, there's this business over here that's producing this such and such cash flow. Hey, there's this apartment complex here. Hey, there's this, there's that. I got this new strategy that I learned. We pool our resources. So we deconstruct the system, we teach real strategies, we share our frameworks, we build sovereign builders. We are individual and contrarian thinkers. On the inside, it's the same message that you've heard here today, just deeper. We just go deeper. And we do deals on the inside, obviously. This is kind of just a filter here. This filters out the tourists. If you've made it to the end here, then you belong here. You're early. You're not crazy. You are early. The people in this room will not be average. The people in this room are not average. The people in my inner circle. So you do not need permission. You do not need approval. You do not need to wait. You just need community and you need to witness real execution. It's what happens on the inside. So if you would like to apply to join my inner circle, if everything I shared tonight resonated with you, it's not just more YouTube knowledge, and it's not something that you will implement alone. Sovereignty isn't built in isolation. It's built in community with structure, accountability, and access. A year from now, there are two versions of you. One version keeps consuming content, nodding their head and saying, I'll get to it. The other version is inside rooms where real builders are using credit correctly, structuring entities and trusts, deploying OPM, accumulating assets, learning Bitcoin and decentralization the right way, actually executing the system. The only difference between those two people is proximity. That's why I built my private Discord. It's not a hype group. It's not a signal group. It's not noise. It's a builder's room. Inside the Discord, you will get daily deep dives that build on tonight, real discussions around credit, OPM, and deal structure. We will underwrite actual deals. We will present deals. We will review deals gone wrong. We will review deals gone right. We'll go over business and investing frameworks you don't find online. This stuff has been hidden from you. And yes, I am gatekeeping it here. But that's because there's a lot of tourists out there. So if you want, so inside the Discord, you get Bitcoin and decentralization education without nonsense, asset protection and insurance strategies, conversations with real professionals, direct access to me and other serious builders, a room that filters out tourists automatically. This isn't for everyone. If you're looking for shortcuts, signals, or someone to save you, don't join. No one is going to come and save you inside this group. If you're building a business, acquiring assets, or thinking about legacy, you already know this is where you belong. So if tonight resonated with you, don't overthink it. Get in the room. The link is below. Join the Discord, introduce yourself, and start building. Post the link, stay quiet for a bit. And once you're inside, I walk you through the exact frameworks I use, including but not limited to my bulletproof legacy blueprint and all the associated document templates that you can literally take to an attorney and certify. This package alone in you for wealthy families and wealthy clients to go to a lawyer and have an estate plan. Lawyers don't charge a flat fee like most CPAs or estate planners. They charge by what their net worth is. So if the more money they have, the more expensive it is. And this alone right here, if you are a wealthy, high net worth individual and you don't have your proper structure in place for whatever reason, you can come and get it taken care of inside this group for you for much less than what it would be if you were to go to an expensive attorney. It's part of what we provide here. We teach structure, how to protect everything with the right structure, how to file the proper paperwork. That's what most of this is knowing how to file the proper paperwork. And a lot of people, that's why they pay attorneys, that's why they pay people to do it, is because they don't know how to do it or they won't go figure it out for themselves, which is fine. We just are, again, we are sovereign here. So you can take this responsibility upon yourself instead of outsourcing it to an expensive attorney. So that's just one thing you'll get inside the group that's well worth its weight in gold. Some wealthy families pay as high as hundreds of thousands of dollars. Typical price, Google it. Go Google what the price is. Well, let's ask ChatGPT. Or let's ask Google. Everybody's so reliant on ChatGPT now. How much is an estate plan? $2,000 to $5,000 or more for a comprehensive attorney drafted plan. Okay. I've drafted everything for you already inside the group. All you have to do is fill it out, take it to an attorney to have it certified, and then file it properly. We have a bunch of done for you services as well inside the group where once you have it filed, once you file it, we can't file it out. We can't file it. We can't fill it out for you or tell you how to fill it out. But we can help you once you have it all filled out, and we can then direct you, okay, here. And if you don't want to go do it, then we can do it for you. And that's the cool thing about this group is we all have something to offer. So you just find somebody inside the group in your state. They have time on their hands. You pay them a little fee. They go stand in line down at the county building and file the paperwork for you. It's what we do here. We help each other. That's what we're all about. Yes, indeed. So 2,000 to 5,000. Okay. That is going to be your basic package. That's a cheap lawyer. I'm telling you, $2,000 to $5,000. That is a cheap lawyer. Okay. So that's Google's answer. That is a generalization across whoever Google services billions of people, right? So it's not just in the United States. Let's ask in the United States. Oh, what? Of course. What? How much is an estate plan in the United States? So it changed from 2,000 to 5,000 to 2,000 to 10,000 plus. See, but still, there is so much involved. This is what we go over on the inside. Everything involved. How to start a business, how to protect that business, how to leave that business to your heirs. Even if your heirs don't want it, if you create a business and you keep management in place for that business and you just make sure that it continues to operate, your heirs can still benefit from that. So when you die, instead of you receiving a monthly check every month, you're just a absentee owner already, right? You're just collecting the cash flow every month and you just are kind of overlooking the business, right? That you built. Well, now you just have one of your heirs overlook it. They benefit from what you built. It's still in the family. You just have to have it structured properly. That's all. So again, this is not a hype group. It's not a signal group. It's not no noise. It's builders only. Builders, creators, business owners, investors. This is not for the lazy. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for looky-loos and tourists. It's for doers and action takers, movers, shakers, deal makers. So again, you get direct access to me and other serious builders. It's a room that filters out tourists automatically. It's not for everyone. If you're looking for shortcut signals or someone to save you, don't join, please. If you're building a business, acquiring assets, or thinking about legacy, you already know this is where you belong. Don't overthink it. Get in the room. The link is below. Join the Discord, introduce yourself, and let's start building. Once you're inside, walk you through the blueprint, blah, 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 blah. But none of this matters if you're not in the room first. Every deal needs time, money, credit, and skill. If you don't have money yet, bring skill. If you don't have credit yet, bring time. If you have all four, you're dangerous. You should be in a group. Come and join us. All right, folks. Until next time, peace, love, prosperity. I love you. Be kind to each other. Peace. 1 hour.